There'll be tales, there'll be laughs, maybe tears, blues, and some soul mixed up, yeah. Check it out, yeah.
There you go.
That was hilarious.
It was meant to be. So yeah, JJ Blair, nice to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
It's great to meet you. Thank you for asking me.
I mean, this is very exciting for me because I really wanted to talk to you. I know you're busy, but I wanted to talk to you for a little while about Mike Finnigan's album because I've been checking your social media pretty religiously since I realized you were working on this thing. I couldn't wait to hear it because I'm not only a fan of Mike, but he sang and played on a couple of tracks for me. And I was really gutted because my wife and I had written a song that I'd given to Mike, and then I hadn't quite got it together to get him to do his bit. And when I came to Mike to say, right, I'm ready to go, then Mike told me he was really sick, so he couldn't do it. So, and he was really nice to us. He was really supportive to myself and my wife. And when he came to London with Bonnie Raitt, he got us tickets, so we hung out then. So huge influence on the pair of us. So I'm really excited that you've done it. I'm even more excited that it's so good. So thanks to you for creating something that's even more.
I was thinking today, aside from just missing him, I'm so sad he's not here for the rollout for the record, because he was, just hysterical. He was such a funny guy with this amazing personalities, just one of those magnetic personalities that you were just riveted to everything he said, but he was hilarious. And I'm sad that people don't get to see that side of him, even though they are going to get to hear his music. He was amazing for interviews. Yeah.
Well, as I say, we had some experience of it. One thing I came across after he'd gone was that wild cop show musical thing he was in I suppose the 80s. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's pretty wild, where he's acting in this cop show. It's amazing.
Is that the one where he was the musical director? He told me about.
He might have been. Yeah. He's like he's the sergeant giving the morning briefing, and he breaks into song in one of the scenes.
The cop show. Sorry. Yeah. Cop Rock. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. The Stephen Bochco Cop Rock. Yes.
Amazing. So, so what was the first step with this album? Obviously you worked on it with Mike.
So the first step was years and years and years of saying, like, hey, let's do a record. And I know one thing, because his voice was amazing, but he had a little vocal damage from some acid reflux, and that he felt was affecting his higher range. Like, we never noticed it, but he somehow felt it.
Yeah.
But he was doing Bill Lynch for a few years, had a club, and Bill was an old friend of Mike's, I think from Kansas, but Bill had a club called the Write-Off Room, which was sarcastic, not even ironically named. It was sarcastically named because it was it was like a write-off. And it was Bill on guitar, Mike on keys, and Gadson on drums, and Abe Laboriel Sr. on bass. It was a pretty good band. And I was there, one night, and Mike was he would just bring down the house every time. And one of the tunes he did was Don't Answer the Door. And I just said to him, I'm like, dude, come on, let's just go in for a day. One day you pick a song, I pick a song. If you hate it, we'll forget about it. If you like it, let me see if I can find somebody to do something with it. And I talked him into it, and then he, we decided, like, I'll pick the drummer, and then he'll pick Josh Sklar and Bob Glob, and I picked David Goodstein, my friend, to play drums, because one of the songs we were doing was My Credit Didn't Go Through, and I wanted somebody who could do like the Steve Ferroni vibe that is on that's a very specific wheelhouse. Yeah. And David is a huge Steve Ferroni fan, so that was the band we put together. But the first thing we recorded was Don't Answer the Door. And my insistence was, and if you'd ever seen Mike play and sing at the same time, not only was he a master of operating the Hammond B3 so that using its entire dynamic range, like very few people could do, but he would be singing and he would just be unconscious. And he's like, it was just part of him to sing and play at the same time and express himself not only vocally better than any of us could, but also be manipulating not just the notes on the Hammond, but all the drawbars and the choral effect and the Leslie speed and everything. It was all just one thing. So I insisted we have to do a live vocal. Yeah. This is like, I've seen you do this live. There is a magic to that. And the very first take was something that we never got better on. So what you hear on the record was take one with a live vocal.
Wow.
And we knew, and then we moved on to my credit didn't go through, and like we immediately knew, like, okay, there's something here. This is really great. This is fantastic. We did it over at East West, and part of the reason I wanted to do it was, my current room is a little cramped, and I wanted space for him to play Hammond and sing and have isolation from the drums at the same time. And it's my favorite drum room in the world, and that it's like you can hear it on those songs. Like, it's just the drum sounds are not just fantastic because of the drummers and that I know how to record drums, but that room really adds a personality to it. But so that was it. We had those two songs. I went, Bonamassa is a close friend, and I said, and I'm like, what label can we go to, do you think, so I can get a budget? And he had expressed interest in putting it out, and that was sort of the working theory for a while.
Yeah.
But I just kept self-funding the record, and sadly, before we finished, COVID hit. I mean, I had all the tracks, but Mike singing, we had 3 songs we hadn't sung yet, and COVID hit, and then he got sick and was too weak to sing, and then never recovered from it. Was, he got pneumonia basically from the treatment for his cancer, which is what happens so frequently. And one song was intended to be a duet with his son Kelly. Have you heard Kelly's music?
Yeah, that's that band, the Monophonics. Is that what they call it?
Yes, yeah. And then the Monophonics are great. And then he's gone on as a solo artist, and it's very much the same vibe. And he's such a great producer at doing that type of retro soul thing. And he writes great music. He's a phenomenal singer. Just like the apple did not fall far from the tree. But the song that they were supposed to do as a duet, I had enough scratch vocal from Mike to put his half together, and his scratch vocals are better than my vocals will ever be. And so I, after a long time after his death, because Kelly doesn't live here, and I, it's heavy to go in. I got him in, and we finished that, and I had Way You Do the Things You Do was supposed to be a duet with Smokey Robinson, because I was working on a record. I thought I heard you allude to it in the song. Did you mention Gasms in the song?
No.
Oh, I thought I might hear it. I was like, oh no, are we really going there? I was working on that record with Smokey, notoriously titled. And so I had Smokey sing his part, and then Gadson sang a verse. And then my friend Dorian Holley, who's a magnificent singer, did the third verse and did all the Miracles type harmonies. And the last song, which I was like so wanting to hear Mike sing that we didn't get to, was All That You Dream, the Little Feat song. Yeah. And I wound up recruiting Stephen Stills for that. And I had hoped that my intention was that Mike could do it as a duet with Bonnie,
Right.
um, especially with Bonnie's history with Lowell George being her mentor, basically. I thought it would be, but that was not to be for reasons I'm not going to go into. So I got Steven to do it as a duet with his son Chris, who's also a phenomenal singer.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a pretty, that was a highlight of the record for me as well. I mean, but it was, and then what happened was we wound up not being able to do it through Joe's label in the end, because of the way that label works. Is, what works for them to make money is they have to hold the rights in perpetuity, and the family was not going to be okay with Mike having Mike's last, final will and musical testament being owned in perpetuity by someone else. So it took me a while to find somebody who was interested in signing a dead artist, but I did it with 40 Below Records with Eric Korn, who's been just who got it. I didn't, he was reticent at first simply because of like, hey, the guy's dead, how do we promote it? Then he heard the record, he became a believer. He understood that, I have a following on social media that can help promote it. And we've been we have to do a second printing. We've exceeded our print orders. So
Brilliant.
yeah, which it was only like 1,200, but we have to print, but for a blues record, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So we have to do another printing, and things have been going well on streaming and digital download. So I'm very, 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 very pleased that it's gotten, it's not going to be Spice Girls big, but it's for a blues record. It's really reaching a lot of places, and getting, getting a 5-star review in Mojo was really a mind blower. That
Brilliant.
was, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered your question there with that filibuster.
No, you really did. I mean, talking about that tune, "Don't Answer the Door," I was thinking, Mike was ill when you were. I didn't know the chronology of it or anything, but I thought, please get one of those performances out of Mike. And there's a video on YouTube of Mike doing song when he's on a Bonnie Raitt gig. It's his like solo thing, a tune called "I Got News for You." Oh man,
Yeah.
and I've played that so many times,
Well,
and I thought, please get one of those performances, vocally, and
well,
harmony.
Bonnie, when he got sick, Bonnie offered us a version that she recorded from a show of him doing "Don't Answer the Door," and we're like, ours is better. I mean, no, it was just there was just something that happened in that room at that moment
Yeah.
that we couldn't be as great as the version with her and her band was.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there is a video of it, which is now I've kept it private till now, and I haven't publicized it yet, but it's on YouTube. I'll send you a link.
Oh yes, please.
Of that. It's that recording, and then we also have a video of him doing "Sing Me Back Home."
Yeah, great. I mean, I tell you what would be interesting. You made me think. I know James Raymond, who I'm sure you know, David Crosby's biological son, who knew Mike because of the Crosby connection, and he's done some really good videos breaking down some tracks that he's done. I would love to hear you do a breakdown of some of these things that you put together for Mike's record. That would be.
I have done breakdowns of them,
Have
actually.
you?
Yeah, and
I need to dig deeper because I've just
time,
discovered your channel, and I thought, oh man.
Every time one of the singles has come out, I've done a breakdown of it.
Have you really? Oh, I got some homework to do. That's amazing. You blew my mind the other day. Excuse me. I was looking at. I just did a search on YouTube, and your video breaking down "Ramble On" by Led Zeppelin just blew my mind because I thought I knew that track pretty well.
Right?
Not having unpacked unpacked the audio, just listen to it a lot, really slowly, and trying to pan you know, in amazing slowdown, trying to go through the different air, panning here, panning there. I thought I had it down. I mean, I'm close, but oh man, you blew my
And then
mind.
to hear the stuff that got
It
thrown away
doesn't.
and didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Like that little wah wah felt, man. I showed my students the other. I teach at this music college. I showed my students that video the other day. Yeah. Oh man, it's a game changer. So I'm going to watch all of your videos, but I've got some homework to do. I'll go back and check down these breakdowns and mic things. But yeah, I mean, the thing with one of the things with Mike's sort of comping when he's playing, I remember checking out, he did a version of Hard Times. Is that Ray Charles wrote Hard Times? Anyway, Clapton did it. It's old soul sort of song. And some of the things he did on the Hammond, some of those little chordal movements, you know, you hear people play certain things in a gospel style, but he had a few like diminished things that were seemed very personal to me. I've always meant to sit down with that record and write it out. But there's a lot of stuff on your record. It makes me think, oh, I need to work at all the little moves because he had such a deep sense of that
It
gospel
was all
harmony.
about Ray Charles for Mike.
Right.
And it's funny. I mean, he taught himself, you know, I mean, like he taught himself how to play, even though he, you know, was instructed how to play. He really taught himself listening to Fast Domino records. So that was kind of where his original thing came from. And then as he discovered Ray Charles, who was a huge influence on his singing. But it's so funny. I heard some early recordings of Mike that were live that Bill Lynch had. And you know, and Mike's format was much higher, and his phrasing and his tone sounded just like Donny Hathaway.
Right.
Like that's how
Right.
good a singer he was. Like you go like, oh my God, is this Donny Hathaway? You're like, no, it's Mike Finnigan.
I always say the same thing. Mike Finnigan, my favorite male singer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Over everybody. I mean, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And you know, and Mike did not write. And sadly, I think when he had record deals, when Jerry Wexler signed him, he was A&R'd poorly. And Mike had told me that Jerry Wexler sent him an apology letter saying like, I blew it. You know, I tried to show your range, and he had him doing like barbershop quartet and all these things. And so he just tried to show all the various things he could do rather than going like, hey, look at this one area that Mike just destroys everybody at, and let's do that in a great song. And that was what I wanted to do, was pick all material that is stuff that I always listen to and go like, oh yeah, this is like Mike Finnigan does this better than everybody. Check this shit out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I tell you, I mean, just I've played it quite a few times since it came out the other day. Yeah, it feels like it's all core stuff that you really want to hear him do, but there's a hell of a variety as well, which I suppose is one of the marks of such a great musician, is that it covers a lot of ground stylistically, but it hangs together. It's such a beautiful thing. I'm so pleased you did it. I just can't say enough about it. It's wild. And also you got Dean Parks on there, which is never a bad thing.
No, and that was, you know, those guys have been friends forever, and I love
Yeah.
Dean. And any
Yeah.
chance to work with Dean, I like to do. But I figured that particular tune, "Lay Around and Love on You," was a really, you know, that's sort of a perfect. It's got that, you know, anything with a 2-5-1 turnaround. Put Dean on it.
Oh man, I mean, I know he's one of the most celebrated guitar players around. I did one of these interviews with Dean. It was I never thought I'd get to him, but I did through a mutual friend. But oh man, what a guitar player! And I was talking to him about. I've been doing some research before I spoke to him, and I was thinking about Haitian Divorce by Steely Dan, and I was saying to him, surely the amount of soloing that you do on that track is a greater proportion of any Steely Dan track covered by one soloist than anybody. I think I must be right, because he's playing tons of stuff on it, and that is to me one of the greatest guitar
Yeah.
or sets of
And,
guitar solos on one track ever.
and the fact that they did the talk box after the fact
Yeah,
is always so
yeah,
funny.
yeah. It's a crazy thing. I mean, but wow, they did a great job of that. It was Walter Becker did it, didn't he? Was that right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Amazing. But it's great to hear Dean do his thing. I mean, oh man, what a player.
Yeah.
What a guitar player. I mean, Joe Bonamassa is, I mean, everybody knows Joe Bonamassa is a monster. And also he's one of the few people, I can't think of anybody who's done more homework on style. You know, he's very authoritative on everything he's interested in. I mean,
Yeah, but
he's
you know,
also
it's
such a
so
student.
I'm going to tell you a funny thing, and I think Joe said to me once, like, you know, he referred to himself as the most hated guitar player on the internet because everyone just has to put in their two, you know, cents about how they can play better than he does, which
Yeah,
they have no clue. The amount of things he can do, and I'm going to tell you one thing about Joe is like Joe is a genius because he identified an audience, he knows what they want, and he gives them that. And there are other things he can do, and he realizes his audience doesn't want that. And I when he was doing his Three Kings tour, I saw him playing just the most inside, beautiful, jazzy, sweet, like early BB King type solo, you know, before he became like the caricature BB King that we think of. But he was just playing that really beautiful inside jazzy stuff. And the audience just was kind of checking out.
Really?
And I think Joe sensed it, and then he threw like an Eric Johnson run at him, and they were like, "Wow!" You know. And he knows, you know, he knows like this is about my audience and entertaining them and keeping them happy. But I've worked on stuff with him where I'm just like, oh, geez, I didn't know you could do that too. You know, like he can pull from so many bags.
Yeah.
And do it so authentically and convincingly, and people just don't realize. You know, there's another thing when I realized when I got to work with Jeff Beck for a week, I didn't realize he could do all these other things. Like, oh, you can play this style and not just do the Jeff Beck thing. And Joe is very much, you know, like that. He is a master of so many different styles that you never get to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Also an amazing singer.
Yes.
I mean, I'd love to pick his brains, but I mean, one thing with Joe Bonamassa singing, it seems that I'd love to know how much firstly, if he's had any help, if he's studied, because he's just kept improving with the licks and the way he sings, like the tone is just, he's a great singer, that guy. I mean, he's really clued in.
My recollection is he studied to save his vocal cords.
Yeah. But the licks, I mean, he's a great singer. Absolutely amazing. Really amazing.
Yeah, and it's very upsetting to me when not only because I love him as a human being and as a friend, it's just, you know, it's so fashionable to slag on him apparently on the internet, and it's just like, you guys have no idea. Like, he is so much better than you, and you don't even know.
Exactly. Try standing next to the guy, see how you get on. What do you think? Try getting up next to him and see how you get on, because that would be a challenge. Much like trying to sing after Mike Finnigan.
Oh my God. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you a funny story on that note. So there is, God, I don't want to give it away, and it kind of ties into Joe. There is a keyboard player who was a very busy keyboard player, you know, nice guy, but and there was a China Club jam that Mike was part of, and he got off the Hammond, and this guy got on, and, you know, just not realizing, hey, you're getting up after Mike Finnigan, and he just started to like, he made it all about him. And Mike turns to me within 30 seconds and goes, hey man, you don't have to play me everything you know this song. You know, and that was always a great lesson from Mike. Is I remember when I was a teenager and I used to listen to the Steve Winwood Hendrix Voodoo Child, the long one. And what killed me about Hendrix was not the flashy thing. He would just play some like little 3-note thing, and his tone and his vibrato was like, that's what really shook me to my core. And it's like, oh, I gotta work on that. I gotta work on having timing and vibrato and things like that.
Yeah.
And not only could Mike play circles around anybody, he didn't have to, because he would just do very subtle things that were so deep and so spectacular. And added things to songs. I mean, it's aside from his friendship and everything, just not being able to call him and go, hey, do you mind just throwing something on this? It's not happening and it could really use you. It's really a loss musically to not have him in my back pocket when I'm producing.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, do you know that Etta James thing? You're gonna make me cry. Do you know that song? I think that's
I
what it's
don't know
called.
that one.
A duet between the two of them, Etta James and Mike. Oh, it's great. It's on. I think that's what the tune's called. It's on an album called Matriarch of the Blues, which is kind of, I guess, one of the later things that he would have done with her. Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's one of those great performances.
Yeah, like the fact that he could confidently sing a duet with Etta James.
Oh yeah, that's something. Yeah.
Like that's
I mean that is, you should check it out. It is killing. It's a great album, actually.
You're gonna make me cry.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm pretty sure it's on
It
Matriarch.
probably will make me cry.
I think it will. Yeah. Yeah. Do you recall off the top of your head what gear Joe used for that 20 Years of BB King track? For the guitar heads, this question.
I think it was a Les Paul. It's funny, we did it. He took one pass at it while we were, because Joe's like, let me take two passes. There you go. And he took a pass at it when we were at in Nashville doing Joanna Connor's record. And it was great, but I just felt like, let's do another, we were working on another record and I was still sitting. I'm like, do you mind doing another pass? I just want another opinion on it. And I think he was, I don't know what, but it was just like, let's do something in a slightly different flavor. And I think he was trying not to do the BB thing. And I think that was the problem, to not be so obvious. And I was like, yeah, do it again, different. And it was, I think it was the Lazarus Les Paul, probably into a Dumble, if I recall, just like straight in.
Really? Right.
Yeah.
Oof.
He will rarely use a pedal in the studio. If he does, it's maybe a Klon.
Right.
But in the studio, generally with him, it's always been just straight in.
Right.
And he likes that relationship between the unless for some reason it's something that calls for an effect. But when it comes to solos, he tends to go, and the Dumble has its own overdrive circuit. You don't really need to run a Klon into a Dumble.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Can I ask you I'm a muppet with recording, as I just proved to you about 20 minutes, half an hour ago, whatever. When you're working on a track like that, say Joe's guitar take on that, do you find yourself compressing that very much as a rule? Do you think
okay, so distortion is compression, like you're taking so much dynamic range out. I have a thing that I like to do, and you have to be careful how much you do it, and people like Joe can be very sensitive to hearing it. I like to put a little bit of LA2A compression on, not because it's compressing it, but because to me it's uncompressing it. So the LA2A, the detector circuit is this optical panel that takes a minute to glow and get to, it's like an old clock glow panel type thing. And that's what it's called, they're called ELOP, electro-optical. And it takes a second to get to full brightness, So there's a little bit of space between the attack and when the gain reduction kicks in. So anything that's going to come across sort of flat like this will kind of go like that. So the front end has a little more excitement to it.
Right.
And that's why, and if you do it with maybe like 2 or 3 dB of gain reduction on things like acoustic or electric guitar, it can help bring that attack in.
Right.
And I like that. And there's other nice things about, compression. I don't know if you know this, compression, the more you compress, the more harmonic content you bring up. So as the gain reduction, as the volume comes down and the gain reduction goes up, so do all this harmonic content. And it can really help thicken things up. And it can really work, but there's a fine line between making something nice, making it sound like a record, and just killing the dynamics.
Yeah. Right.
But that is, I do a little bit of compression for that. And frequently solos can use a lot of compression just so you're not chasing around every single note and trying to, automate everything. It can, solos on guitar or vocals, anything that can really help it sit nicely in the mix and keep a place. You just have to use taste and judgment as to how much is right and how much is too much. It's as Nigel would say, it's a fine line between clever and stupid. So,
yeah, good old Nigel. Do you find yourself compressing differently between clean sounds and pretty driven sounds, or do you think it was all the same kind of thing?
Clean sounds frequently can require more compression because the distortion's not doing it.
You're right.
And there's different types of, it really depends. I mean, I like to play a lot of country guitar, and it really helps to use a compressor pedal. I mean, it makes me a much better player. And also, like I said, if I have a slower attack, it really kind of brings out, the chicken picking pluck.
Right.
And that's a thing aside from helping your sustain because you're playing with a cleaner sound. But that's sort of between the guitar and the amp, finding the right pedal to do that can be a thing. I suppose you could do that after the fact, but compression's a helpful tool. I like there is a sonic signature aside from the compression itself to the LA2A that I like on guitars.
Right.
And I think even the UA plugin does a nice job of bringing that frequency. I put that on something, it's like, oh, that sounds nicer to me.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Whatever it's doing in terms of its frequency response, and then adding harmonic content through the gain reduction does something nice to my ears.
Lovely.
And
cool.
Yeah.
Great. Brilliant. Listen, I know you've got to get cracking. You're off somewhere tomorrow. I didn't want to take too much more of your time.
Oh no, this is. I appreciate you asking me to do this and get the word out about Mike. It means a great deal to me. I'm
going to get out there and get a hard copy of this thing because I want to know I want to see the track listing of who's doing what on what. They were.
Okay. Who would you like to know?
Who's playing guitar on Don't Answer the Door?
Okay. Josh Sklair plays the intro lead and then plays rhythm. I'm doing all the little fills.
Oh, lovely. Great.
So Mike,
cool.
Mike I wasn't really planning on playing on the record, and we had somebody else on there. But Mike was insistent that I be on the record, and so I had to sacrifice the other person so that I could, and I'm like, okay, time to show everybody that I'm from Chicago.
Nice. Well, you did. You really did. So who played rhythm guitar on My Credit Didn't Go Through then?
That's Josh. Josh on rhythm guitar on everything except for Sing Me Back Home and She's Not Just Another Woman. And Josh was the secret weapon. I mean, his rhythm guitar playing on everything just added another dimension, whether it be Way Things You Do or the Curtis Mayfield tune, I'm a Fool for You. It's like he just came up with parts that were so fantastic, and he executed them beautifully. And of course, you know, he was in Etta's band for many years,
Yeah,
her MD, and produced a lot of, and he may have produced the record you're talking about.
maybe, yeah, maybe, yeah. I was very classy. What else am I looking at here? Sing Me Back Home, then. Who did play guitar on that?
Okay,
Because
so
there's that lovely tremolo thing on there.
that's
Pop
Val
Staples one.
McCallum. So
Okay.
that band is they go by the name Jack Shit here in town, but it's Val McCallum, who currently plays with Jackson Browne, but who's played with many people. And the rhythm section is Pete Thomas and Davey Farragher from Elvis Costello's band.
Oh, wow.
And
Right.
the reason I wanted them is I had heard somebody do a down-tempo version of that song that hit me, that and in the way that Merle Haggard's version never hit me, because Merle does it so peppy. It's like sort of an upbeat thing. I'm like, why is this song about dying on death row upbeat? And I brought it to Mike, who then took it into Ray Charles land and made it a, you know, like a blues waltz. Or something that would be on, you know, New Directions in country and Western music. And the reason I wanted those guys, not only because of how well they do country type music, they are incredible singers. And I wanted not just a live vocal from Mike, I wanted live harmonies. I wanted like to capture a band with everybody singing live. And you can see it in the video, which is the only other song we got a video of. And it's just, you know, it's such a beautiful thing. And Vel's slide playing on that is so
Lovely. Really classy. Lovely.
yeah,
Oh,
he's one of
man.
my favorite guitar players.
This is such a great record. I'm definitely buying a hard copy of it. Definitely. I'm going to do it as soon as I put the phone down now. I'll get like that. Listen, JJ, it was really nice to meet you. At some point, I wouldn't mind doing another one, just talking about all the other stuff you've done. But I know you're
You know
busy.
what?
So.
I can be a very quiet, antisocial person, but talking about music, you can't, and recording, you can't get me to shut up. So I would gladly do this another time with you.
Oh, thanks so much, man. This is so kind of you. Honestly, this is precious. And as I said, I was checking your social media very regularly as soon as I figured out you were working on it, and I'm so pleased. And you guys should be so proud of yourself. You did a
Oh,
great job. You
I'm
made
yeah.
something very
It
special,
was,
and
you know, it took almost 8 years to birth this thing, and not, and I haven't even listed the struggles that I went through to wrangle everything, but and get it out. And it's such a I'm so proud of it as a work of art. And then, you know, when you do something like, it's like running a marathon and you get to the finish line, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the sense of accomplishment, and then to hear how well people are receiving it, and that's it's really been a highlight for me of my career so far. So
Well, yeah, and I'm not surprised. It is so classy. I mean, Smokey Robinson, come on. What an achievement. It's quite right too, but man, Smokey Robinson.
well, I was making a record with Smokey, and he's
Yeah.
telling me the story about how he wrote that song, and I just, you know, and I'm like, I'm like, you know, we need to have a couple of cool cameos, make it easy for the label.
Yeah.
And I said to Mike, what about having Smokey do Way the Things You Do? He's like, yeah, everyone's done that song though. I'm like, but who's done it with the guy who wrote it? And then I said to Smokey, would you like to be on this record? He goes, well, it depends what the song is. I'm like, well, what if it's one you wrote? And he's like, oh, okay. So I just managed to, and the way that Mike arranged that feel, like that early James Brown broken wagon wheel, dun 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 dun. And I'm gonna tell you a really interesting thing, because Gadson's playing drums on it. And I didn't realize until I started mixing it and I soloed out the drums. He's doing Willie Big Eye Smith, who was, uh, uh, Muddy Waters drummer, right? So it's like, it's literally don't split your hands. Everything is gung gung gung, like you're doing the shuffle with all your limbs. It's not, you're playing something straight, and to be able to do that and make it swing. Like, not only did I have immense respect for Gadson as one of my favorite groove drummers of all time, but his instinct to do that and play it like that, and then it still has that sort of broken wagon wheel, gung 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 gung. It's and Mike's intuition to do it that way was genius. That was his all the arrangements are Mike, of
Right.
everything.
Right.
That
Amazing.
is, I need to point that out, even though, like how all these went down, that was Mike going, okay, I'm feeling it like this. And it was always right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, James Gadson, man, what a choice. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. What a player. So this is, I mean, you've contributed another thing to the history of the music. It's really something. Like, all I can say is thank you. Listen, dude, I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy, but I will hassle you again.
Oh,
Thanks
please
so
do.
much
This
for
is
your
fun.
time.
It's so great to meet you, and I really enjoy talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Anytime I'd be happy to.
I'm definitely taking you up. And all the best, JJ. I'll see you
Okay.
down the road. Thanks,
All
man.
right, my
All the
friend.
best.
Take care.
Bye.